All my reminders are popping up because they all go at the same time. Yay! Anyway. Missing theme song. Okay. So I accidentally put 2 tea bags in my teapot this morning instead of 1, and it's really strong tea, so, I will probably be more ADD than usual. Yay! And wait a bit until we get some people to show up. Anyway, I have my sticky list, and on my laptop this morning was another sticky list, which was basically a reminder to pay college some money for Emma. Whole family just leave sticky notes for each other. It's great. So, also in the mail, I got mail yesterday, but not for the shop, just for me. It was a parcel, and it was to me, but there was no who it was from or special notes. So I was like, what the heck is this? So I opened it up. I'm like, right, my mom was going to send me a birthday present. This is from my mom. If you met my family, you would understand. Now it's on a shirt, because if you met my family, you would totally understand. You're like, that's the perfect shirt. Oh boy, yeah. Yeah, if you met my family, you would understand why this is hilariously funny. If you haven't met my family, just let me assure you, this is hilariously funny. And there's my mom saying, my shirt looks great. Yes, it does fit very nicely. Ta-da, ta-da. If you met my family, it's a good color too. It's like a purpley blue, blueberry, purple winkle, something like that. Anyway, I have fabric this color. The big box of fabric that I'm waiting for, the big boxes, is still not here. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. I don't know, but it said it left a week and a half ago, so it is still not here. It's only coming from Ontario. Come on now. I'm dying here. Anyway, I should tell you what did come this week. Right, because I was in the middle of a customer quilt and it ran out of thread. How does that happen? You own a quilt shop and you run out of thread for a quilt? What? I was using a special kind of thread that I've recently discovered, and it turns out I really love. As you know, I do a lot of custom quilting work, and I really, really do love Glide. And it's nice and shiny as polyester. But Glide, the thinnest it comes is a 60 weight, and this comes in 100 weight, which is like eyelash fine. Actually, eyelashes are probably thicker, and this is Superior Threads Micro Quilter. If you want to put it something really thin in your bobbin for when you do applique or embroidery or something like that, this is the kind of stuff you need. And I got some light colors in now, but I ran out of the white because I was doing this quilt where I'm doing a couple quilts actually, where the thread is so fine it doesn't matter what color you put it on, it just sinks in, and it's really, really thin. It doesn't look like white thread at all. It just sort of matches everything. But I do have a color chart, and it's very easy for me to order from at least 2 suppliers. That's what I'm getting now. Can I get it from more than one place? Great. Because if one place is out, maybe the other place isn't. Crossing my fingers. So yeah, I have some Superior Micro Quilter, and they are $18.50, same as the Glide. The Glide is going to go up at some point. I don't know when, but you should probably get stocked up in the Glide if you're thinking about it. And check out the Superior Threads Micro Quilter. Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, if I were doing some applique or something, it's just, I haven't tried it like in like a regular machine, but it's so far out in the long run. Like I said, you just keep traveling on a spot. You still don't notice it. I noticed with the Glide number 60, you go over things like 4 times, and then it starts to build up this. You can do more than that. It's great. The other things, the 10 packs of rotary blades for $36, they're back in stock. I know. If you're having trouble cutting, if it's skipping things, or if you have to push really hard, you notice your arm is getting sore. It's like it cuts fine, but I have to push a lot. You just need a new blade. Good morning, Heidi. All our regulars were here. Yes. Extra strong tea this morning. and the funny mug from my favorite child. So you can see this is totally generational. I told you a couple weeks ago I got in the clear vinyl from By Annie. I also have the Project Bags 2.0 pattern. Somebody was in the shop. They brought in their project in one of these projects bags, and I was like, these are really cute, handy, and way too neat for someone like me who just throws it in a Ziploc bag and chucks it in the corner. Then the bags all fall over, and I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Anyway, more than you wanted to know about me. This is me. Like, when do I not get personal? So the other thing that I've been doing while I've been going through a bunch of my old projects and digging through the bins and sorting through stuff and figuring out what I'm going to do with my current stash and what am I going to do with all the friggin' quilts that I'm making. I'll get to that in a minute. I'll test things from the shop. If they're things I haven't tried before, I'll test them and I'll really give them a workout. How can I explain this to people who asked? What does it do? What does it not do? Is it better than this other thing? And one of the things I was testing is the Easy Press pen from the Acorn Precision Piecing products. This also comes in big bottles, and you can spray it like starch, like the flatter or the best press. But the little pen, it's got this end comes off, so you can refill it with your liquid. It is a starch-like thing, and it's got a felt tip like this, and it springs. So when you're like this and you go like that, it sort of loads it up with the liquid. So it's in here, and you just draw a line where you want your seam to lie flat and press it down. And I'm telling you, I kid you not, I tend to put this on before I flip the seam over and press it. So I'll put this on, I'll flip the seam over, and when you go to flip the seam over before you press it, it keeps flipping back. This stuff, it does not. It like almost lies flat just by itself. And then you press it and it's flat. It just stays flat. No clapper, no extra starch. It's insanely amazing. And I did finish this mini finally. It's a big crooked spot on it. Just ignore it. But this, look how flat this is. Like all these tiny pieces, masses of seams on the back. And this is flat. I used this, the Easy Press pen, on my mini paper piece thing. And it is freaking flat. Flat. Very flat. Little effort. Like, look at how flat this is. I mean, come on. That's flat. And the other thing you can get it with is the seam-align glue, which I've used before with this super duper fine tip. It's only clogged on me once, honestly, and it was because I hadn't used it in a couple of months or so. But it's a very fine, it almost puts it out as little drops. Where's the end here? You can barely see it. But this is heat activated glue, and it can seem pricier because I think by itself it's like a $5 bottle of glue. You can see there's hardly any gone. I mean, this stuff is going to last forever because you're literally putting dots. All that binding that I've been doing lately, if I get to like the corners and you miter the corners and you're like, I got to press this and pin it or whatever, you stick a dab of glue in it and hit it with the iron, it stays there. And then you sew it down and it's perfect. When they say precision, they are not kidding. So when you look at some of my things and you think that corner that she mitered on that machine sewn binding, oh my God, how did she do that? I cheated. Okay, it's not cheating. It's using the right tools for the right job. So yeah, when you see like these perfectly pieced things of mine, try not to laugh, Mom. Sometimes I use stuff like this because it winds up perfect. I mean, my God. And that with the fabric pen and the fabric treatment and the bottle of glue, whoops, this is $36, and I'm telling you, it's going to last you forever. Unless you are somebody who makes a lot of quilts all the time and uses this on everything, and then, your mileage may vary. But I've only had to fill this once so far. I don't use it on everything, and that was, I'm pretty sure I started using this before Christmas. I also have packages of these with the fabric treatment refills and extra nibs. You can see mine is starting to get a little worn. Can you see that? The tip is getting a little untippy. Uh, and I also have like a big bottle of the stuff. I have a customer who, her and her sister just love it. They just use it as starch, like in a spray bottle, and it's just so flat. How flat? So flat. Repeat after me. So freaking flat. Good morning, everybody. I love it when everybody shows up. If you showed up late, I'm wearing my new shirt from my mom. It is very apropos. Speaks for itself. I have an extra tea bag in my teapot this morning, so yay! I can see sounds now. Mm. The other thing, did that. Can't mix up. I got 2 sticky notes on my laptop. Can't mix them up, or I'll be telling you how much I have to pay for Emma's tuition. That's more student fees every time we turn around. Where's my pen? Okay, did that one. Okay, so speaking of birthdays, tomorrow is my blessed first grandchild's birthday. Isabella Isis will be, aka Izzy, will be a whopping 12 years old. It's pretty insane. And Izzy is a tall child. We've had a family bet going. It looks like I will win this year. Win being in air quotes, because the bet we've had is how old will Izzy be when she finally grows taller than her grandmother, being me. And last time I was there, last weekend, Izzy was about up to here. And she's almost 12. So I figure in her 12th year, Izzy will definitely surpass me, which means I win the bet, but she gets to be taller than me. So I'm not sure if that's winning. Anyway, Izzy going to be 12. We're going to go visit her later this week. And then Ron's birthday is on Sunday. And Mom and Carl are going to come visit, have a little tea, spoil us with some birthday presents, eat our snacks, then leave, and then go see the other grandbabies. So that'll be fun. One of these days, I'm going to get her on video. So we don't do much for Easter, but Emma and I did clear out some Easter candy from the grocery store last night, so there's none left for you. No, I'm kidding. We only got like some chocolate eggs. And when my big kids were smaller, we would hit the Easter sales on Easter Monday. And one year I said to them, "Happy Easter, Mommy loves you. Here's some broken chocolate." See, if you met my family, you would understand. So, yes, that's my new motto. Anyway, speaking of Easter and birthdays and holidays, so Good Friday is this Friday. We will be closed. And I also decided this year I will be closed on Easter Monday because I really need the holiday because all the other stuff that's going on. So Friday I'm closed, Monday I'm closed, come by on Tuesday. Yeah, there's that. Okay, got that. Closed Friday and Monday. The other closures in April, I will be closed in the shop at this location on April 29th and 30th. That's the last Friday and Saturday of the month. But it's because I will be in Woodstock at the Woodstock Guild's quilt show. Quilt shows are finally coming up. And if you do have concerns about safety and COVID, it is in a very large venue. I always call it the Civic Center, but it's not. It's up behind the high school. I can't remember the real name of it. It's across from the Dairy Queen. You know where that is. You know where that is. Like 20 years ago when this other thing was there, that's not there anymore. It's up there. I'm just kidding. The Dairy Queen's still there. So yeah, it's like in a huge arena type venue. It's got very large ceilings. They keep the doors open a lot. They've got big bay doors that will be coming out. So there'll be lots of ventilation, lots of fresh air. I will continue to wear my mask. So that's where I will be. Rumor has it I may have an assistant with me this year, which will be super fun. Great, because I won't have to stand the whole time. Ha! I know, super funny. So you want to see about fabric though. So one of the things that is on sale for this month, I'm a little late because I was like, I should have a sale a month of this old fabric or something. So April, The Imperial collection is on sale for 30% off. And if you go to the website, I have actually updated it to reflect the sale price. The Fredericton Guild had a workshop a couple of weekends ago where they did paper piecing, and the piece was called Peace Cranes for Hiroshima. This would make a wonderful backing. It comes in other colors as well. You don't need a lot for that backing for that piece, and it is on sale, so might as well, right? That was somebody else's suggestion. But it does have the really nice, lush Asian prints with the big flowers, and there's some little flowers, and there's some other pieces left in the collection. Some bamboo. I know. You can work with this. It's really nice. It's all gold and sparkly, and it's got some green ones. So you can check on the website and see what's left of that collection. Help me clear it out. I should tell you how much it was. It was $20 a meter, and now it's 30% off. So that is 14. Let's say it's 14, something like that. Somebody else do the math. There's also 2 panels that were regularly $12, and they're 40% off too. So if you didn't get one of these panels yet and you really want one, now's the time. A nice crane piece with the flowers, and of course all the matching fabric. Or if you got one of the panels and you were like, I'll get the panel now, but the fabric's pricey, now's the time to get it because, hey, it's on sale. The other panel, of course, had the Geisha girls all over it. Very, very nice. There's not as many of these ones left, so it's very pretty. It's got all the nice cherry spring blossoms all over it. I love cherry blossom season, even though we don't actually have one here. Yay! But I like it anyway. So that's that in terms of what little is new and what projects we have around. And then I can get to show you what I've actually been working on. I'm still bouncing around between projects. I'll do a little bit here. If you've seen me lay out some blocks on my design wall and then post a picture, some of them I just slap up there, see how it looks, work on things for a little bit, take it down, put it away, work on the next thing. So it might be a while again before you see the same quilt come around. This one, you may have seen me working on it, and I decided I would just finish it, even if some of the blocks are a little wonky. This is my tiny piecing sampler. This was a digital pattern I bought online from Night Quilter. If you like paper piecing tiny things like I like paper piecing tiny things. Yep. She gives you can make the sampler, but you can do like a whole, she gives you in the pattern like a whole sheet of every single block. So, you don't have to copy multiple things. If you're like, I just like that one block and I want to make a whole quilt with like these tiny little trees. I mean, look at that trunk. That trunk is insane. I know. How did I do that? It's the magic of paper piecing. And of course, this flat thing. Honestly, between this, I couldn't have done it without the Easy Press pen from Precision Piecing Products. Say that 5 times fast. Couldn't have done it without that and Murder Mystery Shows. I started a new one. It's from Australia. It's older. It's fine. I watch a lot of those free TV channel thingies that you don't even have to sign up for, like free TV because it's old. I'm like, I'll watch it. I don't care. Anyway, finished that. Something like this, I'm not going to quilt very densely. I'll just maybe just do some straight lines across it. And I just can do this on my domestic machine. I recently dug out my Bernina again and tinkered with it because what I want to do is, of course, test some of the ruler things. Turns out my brother that I love doesn't love ruler quilting very much. As soon as I put on a ruler foot, even the correct one, it doesn't like forming a stitch. Take the foot off, put on the darning foot, it quilts fine. So I can do free motion on it, but as soon as I switch to the ruler foot, it's like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. So, but my Bernina is skipping stitches every so often, only if I go in a certain direction. So yeah, that's less than ideal when you're free motion quilting or even ruler quilting. So I got to take care of that and fix the sign in front and do this other thing and handle the birthdays and pay the tuition, and then, oh, right, go visit my father. It's a lot. It's a list. I'm telling you. So the other things, like as I've been going, speaking of practicing, as I've been going through my stash, I've been finding like test blocks I've made. I'm sure you have them, orphan blocks, things like that. And I'm looking at some of them going, what's the least amount of work that I can put into this, assuming I still like this, to make it somewhere where I would call it finished. And even if finished is like, well, I have this piece to do the next step, like for the quilting. Oh, okay, I can use this to test these other projects and products and stuff, right? So I have a lot of little quilt sandwiches. Sometimes when you're practicing your free motion quilting, a quilt sandwich of just some ugly fabric or whatever is less than ideal once you get to a certain point, because you're like, well, I want to really figure out how to go across seams, how to curl across a block. These were from a class that I did on improv, little sewing machines, made little tiny ones. So I just finished sewing them together. I haven't even trimmed. So I'll have like this little wall hanging piece I can put in my sewing room or whatever. But in the meantime, when I get to ruler practicing or I want to do some free motion, even just as a warm up, which actually is really important, I've got something I can slap on, uh, warm up with, or practice, or test a new thing. And then I'm done. And Bob's your uncle, right? Right. But I don't have an Uncle Bob, she says. This is another piece. I made like 3 blocks and I'm like, it's too boring for me. This is colorful birches. This was from Crazy Mama Quilts. This was one of her patterns. It's bright and I love it, but I don't want to make a whole quilt out of it. So I made 3 blocks and I sewed them together. And again, practice piece, whatever. At some point, maybe someone would be like, oh my God, I love it. Can I have it? And I'll be like, sure, here you go. It's all yours. The other thing I did, sometimes I'll get a pattern in and I'm like, cannot resist. I have to make it because it's just too darn cute. And that often happens with the Elizabeth Hartman greenhouse, is one of the things that's happened. And on the back, you'll see it has a little small quilt. And one of my customers, Emily, she came in and she was getting fabric for this project. And I was like, ooh, that is very, very cute. It has a little jade plant, has lots of plants. And I kept thinking of Addison, who is a plant mom and has like a room full of plants as well as children. More plants than kids, thank God. Like, I gotta make this. So last Friday, it was a little slow, and in between customers, I'd already pulled the fabric. You know me. It only looks like I did it really quickly because I do things in stages. So it's like, I'm going to sew this project. I can sit down and start at step 1 and sew that project. One of these days, when I was younger, back in the 90s, my grandmother got me a quilt from Nancy Zeman. Not a quilt, a book, a quilting book, sewing book from Nancy Zeman. See, too much tea. And it's called 10, 20, 30 minutes to sew. It's an older book, but it got me into the habit of being able to chunk my sewing down into smaller bits. So if I knew I had a half an hour to sew or 10 minutes to sew, I could focus on just that, which for me and the lack of focus is really, really good. So anyway, last Friday I made this. So there is all these cute little plants. And I did deviate from the pattern a little because I was constrained by the piece that I used for the shelf was a couple inches shorter than the pattern called for. Didn't care. You know, if the pattern says cut it this big and you're like 4 inches short, if it's something for like a shelf or something that affects the overall size, you can adjust that with what you have. And then I had this piece, which was from a quilt that my mom made Addison ages ago, and I only had this one piece. So that went, it's supposed to be the rest of the wall, or the more shelf, but it's under the ground in my concept. So I will quilt this and send it over to Addison's house and they can slap that up on the wall and we'll all call it a day. I had the satisfaction of making it. They have something cute in their wall. And here we go. And I bet you never even noticed that this top piece of tone on tone white is a completely different print than all the stuff that's down in here. Because I ran out of this bit and I just grabbed another piece. Who's going to notice? Nobody. Nobody really. Oh, now my daughter-in-law will notice, and she'll be like, "Oh my god, but this one piece," but she's just teasing me, so there we go. I know, right? I told you I'm a little. And lastly, speaking of using up things, I bought this fabric. You will never guess. I bought this fabric at Value Village for like $3 because somebody had washed it and the colors had all run. I don't care. It was gorgeous fabric. It was a nice border print. You can see they're a little more dense at this end. Yeah, you can see the flowers are a little denser at this end and they just go to almost nothing in the middle and then continue on the other selvage. Yeah, so I finally decided to use it as a quilt back. And on Sunday, because I quilt customer quilts on Sunday, I got the last one done early. You will see it in the Woodstock show. She picked it up yesterday. She said, "Oh my God, it's gorgeous. You got to go to the Woodstock show to see it." You might have seen a picture float by, but really, as my mother says, the picture just doesn't do it justice. You have to see it in person. So after I was done her quilt and I was twiddling my thumbs and it wasn't time to start supper yet. So I had one of my own quilts ready to go and I only wanted to quilt it in some simple straight lines. Remember, I always try to get things ready to go. If I have 10 minutes here or there, that was the thing. I'd already picked out the backing, I'd already prepped the backing, already prepped the top. It was in a pile waiting. Just had to cut the batting and load it on the machine and quilt it. And I just quilted it in straight lines. Ha! This is my, woohoo! It is not curling. It is not curling. These are those French macaron cookies. If you're in Fredericton, go down to the Chess Piece Cafe. They have some down there, and these are nice, different flavors. This pistachio, pomegranate, lilac, lemon, strawberry. Um, Go down to the Chess Piece Cafe. So this one's just for me to like nap under and just be pretty. And it was I sewed the top last year because I really like modern quilts and I really like solid colors and I had lots of both and some time and just pushed everything aside and made it just for me. So yeah, and it took me an hour to quilt all these straight lines. I timed myself this time. And that was that. When will I get around to buying it? Who knows? Because right now I don't have any of this color. This is the color I want to use to bind it. It's like a magenta, very hot pink. At least I don't have this color in a solid. I have a few blenders and things that are close. But I really want a solid. Lilac is a food flavor. Sometimes. I know sometimes with the French macarons, they tend to get a little fancy and do weird flavors. So I don't know. It's purple. Grape doesn't seem fancy enough for a French macaron cookie. Probably something different. And they do like flower flavors sometimes. Yeah. Oh, look, there's even a chocolate one. Couldn't leave the chocolate ones out. Darn it. So yeah, this is just a fun quilt just for me. So that's that. That's all I have for you today. I know, I talked constantly. Rose water, so why not? Yeah. Like I said, it's a fancy French cookie. So there we go. And for those of you who wonder about solids in quilts and how you would quilt them and straight lines, I do that a lot. When I finally get around to some of my quilts that I just finished quickly and they're very modern, straight lines. It's fast. It gets her done. I do have plans for some custom quilting on my own over the summer, but turns out after I'm done my pile of customer quilts and then I'm done quilting for a while for other people, we are going to redo the flooring in the basement where the long arm is. The basement's fully finished. It's a walkout basement. So in the downstairs, it's like a rec room. There's bedrooms. Anyway, it's a nicely furnished basement, but we're just going to redo the floor because needs it. Needs a bit more insulation under it. And I'm kind of crossing my fingers we won't find anything terrible down there either because you never know. Yikes. And we're going to move the long arm and it really needs a lot of maintenance. It might need a couple of new parts, nothing serious, just parts that you replace on a regular basis. So I'll do that, and hopefully I can quilt at least one of my own quilts, custom, because I have this pile. Anyway, that's that. I will talk to you later. I will see you later this week. Mom, I will see you this weekend. Grandbaby's probably not watching. I'm gonna come see you on Friday, I think. Yes. Gotta go pay stuff for Emma. Gotta pick up birthday presents. Gotta do lots of things. Gotta do some paperwork. Oh boy, paperwork. Gotta put all this crap away. So, yeah, I guess I'll see you. Enjoy the sunshiny day and the new flowers coming up. Alrighty, may your bobbin never run out like mine did, and I kept sewing for like 2 blocks. Woo! All right, Mom, there might even be cookies or cake or something. Hello, Willa. I'm just about to go, so watch the replay if you're missing it. See ya. Bye. Bye. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.